Hey everyone, this is Adrian of Addie Journals. Today I wanted to talk about the Passion Planner that I have been using for the last 3 years and kind of walk you through how I've been using it over these years, what's changed, what's stayed, and maybe discuss a little bit about how I'm feeling about it now. So, a few years ago, when I was looking for planners to get myself organized after COVID, I came across this brand and decided to give them a chance because I really liked the look of their covers. And so in 2021, because I was not patient enough to wait for the dated covers and the dated weekly planners, I actually went ahead and purchased this green one, which was an undated forest green weekly planner from Passion Planner. And I took it with me pretty much everywhere, to work, to my socials, events, even travels. So it has everything. It's seen everything. And just to show you, because of that, this actually comes apart. The leather cover came apart a little bit, and I had to glue it back together. So I don't know if that was like a faulty cover or something, but there was definitely an issue. I did love the feeling of it, but again, it just got really thick and really uncomfortable to work with after that situation. But I do love having the way it looks, the way that it feels. It just has ridges and actually it seems like to be curved leather. So let's get started. So the first few pages of Passion Planner is just showing you how they work, and as you can see on the top right, I have highlighted items in there to color code what it is that I'm doing. The next page is your Passion Roadmap, which I'm going to talk about in detail a little bit later, how that worked out. And then this one in particular has the calendar, all of the years for since 2020 to 2023. From there, you get the monthly overview and followed by the reflection. So this is one of those things about Passion Planner that is fun, is that they have a reflection for every month that you can go back and think about what it is that you wanted to achieve and how you felt about it. And from there, you have the weeklies. So once all 12 months are done, you have all of the weeklies that you can use to notate things. So the way that I use this is I would put in all of my appointments, my holidays, birthdays, any sort of events or even credit card bills, payments, and things like that. I would add that in there and then add in some stickers just to give it something to do, something to look. Some of these are in different colors, and then I would fill out the appointments and to-do list at the bottom. Every month is obviously a little bit different depending on the needs in the month and the situation or whatever it was that I was doing at the time. But I've always liked having this at a glance, everything so that I knew at the beginning of the month or the middle of the month that I could come back and see what it is that I was doing, um, and all of the holidays. And one of the good things is that you can actually have tasks or focus for the month, and then on the right hand side you can have just mind maps that kind of tie into the main roadmap that you had at the beginning, which is pretty cool. I did end up using this for a while, and then on the right hand side I did put my finances, which I'm not going to show you, but it's a sticker that Passion Planner actually creates themselves, and I just put all of my expenses. So going forward into, that, you have the reflections, which again I will talk about a little bit later in this video, but we have the weeklies. And so these weeklies, the way that I set them up is by focusing on my word of the week. I wanted a word of the week, and then I would highlight and outline these information in here about what it is that I was doing. So like you can see some of these items are color coded, and they are meant to match with what it is that I'm doing that day or kind of event that I was having. So you can see that I kind of color coded things for myself. And I continued that throughout the weeks, but one thing that quickly changed was these lines. I used to draw all of those lines out and then I removed that. Down in the bottom, I did do all of my to-do list and my tasks and things like that, but I also color coded them depending on what was going on. And then on the left hand side, I don't know if you can really see that, but this is where I would have my word of the week. I usually started with A, and then all of the good things that happened that week, I would come back and fill out throughout the day or the week and just put them in there. And yeah, that, as you can see, the item that changed is at some point I just stopped only doing those lines and I started putting in memories and coming back at the end of the day and sort of journaling what happened that day, what it was that I was doing, how I felt, things like that. And I was trying to actually get rid of different pens that I have had in my possession for a few years at that point. So you can see that I keep switching different colors for every week, just to get through them a little faster. On the bottom, I started to actually just put quotes and things that I liked, and money matters, and sometimes even pictures for myself to look at and review and just enjoy. And these were pictures of, friends and actually photo shoots that I did, as you can see in this one, where I had photo shoots with friends and just had them in there to put in there just because I really like some of these photos, as well as some travel photos in there. But most of it is really just written. And now here you can see is where I did a Disney spread because we went to Disney World for the first time. So I put in the photos and just added in what we did that day. And then other things, again, more photos, more like post-it notes and things like that, just so that I could come back to this down the line and remember what it is that we did. So this has just been basically how I did it. And by the time the end of the year came by, when I wasn't, I would just have more photos. More or less, this all stayed. This was kind of the end of the year reflection at the very bottom, and then in the back, I always kept all of the dates that I have available to me to take time off. And because I was smart, I decided that, why not have two different variations of books read trackers? Because cool, I wanted to paint them. It made total sense to me at the time, even though looking back on it, it was kind of a lot of work to fill up. But all of these back pages I have never used. So it just kind of stopped being something that I used. And then you can see in the very back, it has an envelope for us to just drop things in. And it became actually very thick with this, with all of the information that we had, what I collected that we had. So it just really was what worked was the setup for me. And I did like it, but the size was too small. So when I decided that it was time to, go for the next one for 2023, I went ahead and actually went for a larger size. So this is the medium, and as you can see, it's a little chunky. I'm not a fan of chunky planners, so that will come into play in just a moment. But I really loved this cover and the way that it looked. So for 2023, I actually went with this one because this one was a much larger size. So if you compare it to the one in 2022, it's a larger size. I think this one is a small and this one is a medium in the Passion Planner sizes. And I had found out during 2022 that the amount of writing that I was doing, getting back into journaling for the first time after so many years, that it just wasn't really working for me. So I went ahead and got this Passion Planner. And again, you can see it has very much the similar setup and information in the beginning, explaining how it works, what they are trying to achieve, as well as the Passion roadmap. And it also has the events and the holidays. And one thing that I did was a word of the year. So in 2023, it was Wild Courage. In 2022, it was the year of intention. And it was an idea that I had gotten off of social media at the time. And I thought it was very cool. And again, the calendar view, and then here is the actual calendar view. So this is the calendar followed by the weeks this time around, whereas before it was just calendar front, and then we had the reflection. And once again, I keep the same kind of setup. All of the events and appointments and bills. I actually removed the bills for this one because they are automatically taken out of my account. I don't need to know this. But I kept the things that I wanted to do, and things like that. And so you can see that now going into the monthly, I was going straight into the weekly view. And what I did with this one is because this one overlapped with the 2022 week, what I did is I kind of did a year of lesson learned in 2022. And so I took every month of 2022, the reflections from 2022, and just put them into these columns, just so that I can see what it was that I learned last year and things that I wanted to know, remember, and things like that. So down here, that's what we pretty much got with this one. And then the new year actually started, and I did a lot of stickers and memory keeping. I did on the left hand side try to keep the events, the fun stuff. I still tried to do the word of focus, so every week I would choose a word in alphabetical order. And as you can see as I'm going through this, there's a lot of stickers and a lot of pictures. And I did my best to actually color coordinate the spreads a little bit more in terms of colors and what highlighters I did use. So the difference with this is that the midliners are what I use in this passion planner versus the old one. Now this one is the spread from Japan. And this is where it kind of started going a little bit sideways for me. I got a lot of things in Japan, a lot of memories, a lot of moments, and I kind of realized that I was running out of space. And so I just stuck a bunch of them in the back. I could not fit all of it in there and all of the events. So it's now a little bit difficult to remember when it was that I went to these things and did all of these things with my husband. I just kind of have to guess or even look at it. So this is where I realized maybe it's not what I want out of a passion planner or a planner in general for travel. But otherwise than that, I really loved the ability to just put stickers and just put in little memories after all of the appointments were done at the end of the day. So the way that I did this is, at the beginning of a Saturday or Sunday, I would just plan out the week, put in all of the appointments, color code it, add in the stickers, and then each day at the end of the day, I would come back and fill it in. And so as you can see as I'm flipping through it, a lot of it stays the same. And what really was fun about it is that I got to try different stickers, but then it changes again. And so here is where we went to Australia, Sydney. I was super excited. It was one of the places that I really wanted to go all my life, and it's empty. And it just didn't really work. By that point, I was using the Traveler's Company notebook for these. So we, just stopped filling this out, and I put in for this one as well, See Poland Journal, because I'm not going to go back and backfill it at this point. It has way more detail in the actual journal than it does in this planner. And again, the Yoseka, things that I wanted to highlight to remember, I kind of stuck the stickers on or just even had pictures. And then at the end of the year, you have your reflection, and then my books, right? All of the books that I read for the year, that's there. This time I was smart enough to stay with only just one format. And then back here again, more empty pages. And then I did books read, different little wish lists, and things that I wanted to keep in mind, then things that I wanted to read, days off that I had, and things that I wanted to learn. I had different routines that I set up, different gratitude lists and ideas. Now the next 2 pages are actually a list of when I recharged certain items like my watch or putting batteries into certain things, and also investment. So I'm not going to share that, but I kept track of my investment because it's the first time that I was doing that. And as you can see, more empty pages. So, and then the back has a lot more stuff. So as you can see, I have a lot of things that I find very important to myself. Just to show you again, just some spreads with all of my to-do list, this time only highlighted between just the colors. And that's how I ended 2023. I think it was a really positive note. But now it's 2024. So in the 2024 Passion Planner, I kept the same size as the 2023. A little bit of it has changed and some advice on the practice, just the front couple of pages, but we still have a passion roadmap, as you can see, and I still kept the word of the year and also the different holidays and things like that. One thing that's changed though is that this did not have the space for the overlap of weeks. So since it actually starts with January 1st, I put in my lessons learned from last year into this space, just something to remind myself. So again, the monthlies, here we go, once again with these events and holidays, but what I did not use was the space for the mind maps as much as I used it in the last one. I decided to let go of that this time around. It just felt like too much work. I still did keep the monthly projects that I wanted to do. You can see over there that in the last one I wrote quite a bit in those sections, and this one I started without writing it. And a lot of this was because I found that in 2023 it didn't really work for me. It didn't keep me on track in any way on these mind maps. Now, there is a fundamental thing, a fundamental shift that I had to do in realizing this. But once again, all of these weeklies are filled out with memories, they're filled out with things. One thing that you will see, there's less pictures and there are less stickers in there. I tried to keep the ink the same across the months. So if it was one month was blue, that stayed throughout the month. Another month has been red, and that is staying in that month. I've added in things like F1 because I do follow Formula One, which is something that I didn't have in the previous notebook. But occasionally I ran out of space, right? So this is where you have all of these things where I'm writing things, adding in notes, and so I ran out of space, and now I have to create extra stuff. It's really a great feeling when you run out of space, you guys. It's amazing, because now you have to figure out a way to add in all of those thoughts. You can see sometimes I would add in some postcards or business cards, but it's becoming less and less that I'm adding this information in. And the reason for that is because I really did not like having the chunkiness of the planner last year. I really did not like how that felt, how the thickness in my hands, how all of the ephemera that's in there was at the bottom, not really so much at the top because it would overlap and cover certain things. So throughout these last few months, I've gotten less and less detailed in that. I've provided less information on the right hand side, and even sometimes in the months it really didn't work out. In the back, I still kept the book tracker. I still love this book tracker. It's a free insert that you get from Passion Planner, but again, pages are empty because that's the only thing that I use that for. The gridded ones, there's some investment items in there that I'm not going to share with you again. Not ready for that. But I had all of the time off and the recharge and reading list that I wanted to read of books that I wanted to look at. I added in a calendar of F1, and this year I also added in the currently inked for all of my pens and what pen I've been holding on to, what pen I've been using, how I want to use that. And yeah, and one thing that I do now is I've officially stopped filling out this memories. It's now just staying as a planner. I've been doing it for a while, but I decided recently, after the trip to Japan in July, I kind of haven't been feeling the need or the want to fill this out. So I know that this is not working for me as much as it used to in the past. It just stays empty, just appointments and things that I have to do. So this is, last week's events, my birthday, payday, my husband's birthday, things like that. And then the to-do list. So this one I've always kept is like, what are the to-do list, what things that I do want to do every week, and I fill that out. Once again, I've kept the focus word of the week, and I always have been filling out, like a focus word and then a focus word for the day. Alright, so now about the Passion Planner roadmap. Okay, I wanted to talk about this briefly. So the idea of it is that you have a roadmap of what you want to do, what if you could just do anything, be anything, experience anything, what are your plans? So you have a 3-month one, a 6-month plan, 3-year plan, or things like that. And you just draw it out, and after that you then pick one of the items that you want to achieve, and on the right hand side you make a smaller or longer term plan on that. So you break it down. Now one of the things with this is it did not work, it did not achieve its goals for me. It's because you have to be very honest with yourself. So anything that I've put down in this passion planner I did not put in or consider well. I just was very much blinded by what I wanted, not really realizing that maybe that's not exactly what I wanted. And so it felt like whenever I was trying to reach these goals, I was pushing against the wall. And it just didn't really work that well. So you have to really be honest with yourself when you do this, dig down deep, ask yourself all the questions. Because if you're just gonna put, oh, I want to be a blogger, and you really don't want to be one, it's gonna be hard for you to reach that goal. So it's meant for you to really strip away and ask yourself those questions if you had $1,000,000, all right? And then you use this monthly reflection to think back every month on whether or not you actually achieved what you wanted to achieve in those months. So together, this is a great thing is if you're honest with yourself on every aspect of it, even talking to yourself about the scary stuff, it can help you achieve different goals that maybe you've been putting off. And it has been successful in some elements for me. I've done a lot more photo shoots last year because that's kind of what I was thinking of going to. But it's, again, you do have to be absolutely honest with yourself, and if it doesn't work, then you have to kind of figure out what it is that you're doing. Another thing about Passion Planner that is great is that they do have free inserts. So this is like the financial tracker. In the 2022 journal, I had stickers. But I came to find that this actually works a lot better, so it works better for me in this system, and that is something that I think I will continue using. But overall, yeah, this is how I've been using my planners. Let me know if you guys have any questions in the comments below, and I'm more than happy to answer more and to show more of these to you if you guys want to know that. But for next year, I think that Passion Planner is no longer what I want to use. I'm still thinking about the Hobonichi cousin avec, because I do find that I like to write a lot. I write every single day. I write a lot of things, and I feel like I could finally explore my creativity with stickers and ephemera that I get from the places and things like that. And yeah, hopefully it'll work out. I'm looking fun to explore it, but it will keep it hopefully also thinner, because this thing is also getting really thick. But I'm not a fan of this. It's so tough. But yeah, we'll see what the AVEC brings. If you guys have questions, like I said before, let me know, in the comments below, and I'm more than happy to answer them. Have a good one. See you next time.